Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about health and vitality. And joining us is professional nutritionist Penny Foskaris. Welcome, Penny. And, just to make sure we're all on the same page, what does health and vitality mean from your perspective?
Well, health and vitality, we want to stay healthy. We know about health, but vitality being strong and active, right? As we age, being able to continue doing the stuff that we love.
Very good. So in this brief amount of time that we get to be together, what kind of points would you emphasize?
One of the first things that I would talk about would be, first of all, is knowing how much you need to eat and how much protein, but you wouldn't know that just by guessing. Someone might say, "Oh, looks like Joe or Joanne, you need some more protein, right, for your muscles," but you wouldn't know unless you got a body composition analysis done. And I recommend going into a professional place so that way they can give you your numbers. They'll put you on a machine, super fast, in like in 2 minutes. Now they can calculate how much protein, carbs, and fats that you need so you can have your numbers for you.
Very good. Now, since you're bringing up protein, what does that mean from your perspective regarding, let's say, vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism?
Yeah, so we have vegan sources of protein and animal sources of protein. And sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm going to have beans," but beans is an incomplete source of protein. But if you pair it up with something like rice, now that becomes complete. And so a lot of times we can also get a vegan protein shake. And they've already taken the time to combine the right fruits and vegetables together or grains to be able to just mix it up and then have a glass of protein. And then we have the animal sources of protein as well. Like you have your eggs, and a lot of times, people say, "Oh, I'm having cheese," but cheese has a little bit of protein, but I would consider that more of a fat source because its higher amount of in it is the micronutrients of the macronutrients is the fat.
Very good. So protein would be a point to emphasize here. What would be another one?
We also need to have our carbohydrates too for energy. And so we need to make sure that we're having our protein, our carbs, and our fats, really combining them together, because different organs of our body need different things. And a lot of times, we want to go out and be active, and people go to the gym and they go, "Why am I not building?" And we actually need the amino acids from the protein to build the muscle. So that's why it's important actually to combine the right fruits and vegetables together to be able to get the complete protein. Like lentils are also a protein, but again, they're incomplete. So we pair it up with a grain, and then we have now more complete, so we can actually get those amino acids to use them to build the muscle.
Very good. Is there some kind of, I don't know, simple measurement you might mention that, a person could, sort of balance the amount of protein versus carbohydrates in their meal?
Honestly, unless you get an analysis done, it's very hard to say because, people will sometimes say, "Oh, just look at the palm of my hand or this," but everybody's hand is different. The width, really, how thick was that piece? Let's say if it was meat. Also with the grain, how much are you having? Because we have to look at the carbohydrates in those beans as well. So we're looking to balance. So I really recommend getting an analysis done so then you can calculate the right amount, because then you're just guessing using a crystal ball, you could say.
Very good. And by the way, if someone were to get an analysis, is that something, is the information they gain from that something they can use throughout their life, or is that something they should get renewed, like a new analysis every year or so?
Well, you use analysis, but if let's say if somebody is where they want to be and they're like, "I'm the perfect weight and I have my muscle and I'm strong and I have my vitality," and then they don't need to get it done again. But if they're seeing a change or they're wanting to make a change, when they lose, let's say they want to lose 5 or 10 pounds and they see the scale go down, they don't know if they actually lost muscle, okay, or if they lost water, or if they lost a pound of fat. These all equal. This is a pound of each of these. They wouldn't know. And so sometimes people think they're going the right direction. They get on the analysis and go, "Oh my God, how am I still 50% body fat when I just lost 30 pounds? Or how am I 40% when on the BMI chart I seem normal?" Because the BMI chart can't see whether you have water, muscle, or fat. It's just height and weight. So it's really important to continue getting them, even if it's once a month. If somebody's really trying really hard to get to a goal, I would recommend doing it once a month for sure.
Good. And then could you give a brief explanation of BMI?
Yeah, so that's the body mass index chart. And basically you'll see, and it has a one side is the height, one side is the weight. And then you go and you meet and see where you're at for your BMI. And if you're a bodybuilder, you look like you're obese on the chart. And you could be someone who has 40% body fat and very little muscle and look like you're in the normal range. Okay. And so what we can do is make sure, and I'll tell you that chart was created over 130 years ago by a mathematician. Not even by a health professional. And so it really needs to go to the curbside and looking at analysis and looking really internally, what are your numbers that you're getting? So that way, if you're, because the thing is, if you're low on muscle everywhere in your body and your analysis shows that affects your heart as well. So we make sure that we keep our heart strong, because that does need protein as well, the amino acids from the protein, to keep the heart strong and healthy. And then also we need to exercise our heart, right? We need to make sure that we are exercising. And I talk about, we need to put a stress on the heart as we exercise that's a good stress. So when we're in a stressful situation, we know our heart can handle it. So if we don't, it's like exercising your muscle, right? If you don't continue to build the muscle, when you go to lift up that bag, it's heavy. Same with the heart. If you don't exercise your heart, well, then what happens is it could be excitement or really you're like in danger and your heart's racing now, right? You're, oh my gosh, what do I do? That is now the heart is really overworking itself. So being active and actually also exercising the heart as well is very important. And the CDC recommends about 150 minutes a week. And that could be split up like if you haven't walked in a long time or exercise, starting just with 5 minutes. 5 minutes and then you go to 10 minutes. And then you continue on from there. But a lot of times people say, I can't walk that far. Even my old mother said, I was walking in the mall and oh my gosh, I was out of breath. And she went to the doctor and said, there's nothing wrong. And I said, well, how often do you go walking? And she said, not really at all. So it's important. It's really important. Yeah,
Penny, we're running out of time here, but I wanted to see if we could get a further comment on you when you mentioned a little earlier fat. Can you elaborate on the importance of fat?
Well, it's important to have good fat in our diet, but also we need to be careful, if we have too much fat around our organs. I can show you super fast. This is a healthy heart and a heart with fat around it. That's visceral fat. Okay. And again, if you get an analysis done, you can see, is it visceral fat around the organs, which is now squishing the organs, they can't work freely, or is it the subcutaneous, the one that we can pinch, the one that annoys us? We don't like looking at that. But every pound that we have extra on our body is 4 pounds of pressure on our knees. And so that, even losing 5 pounds, your knees are like, wow, they feel so much better. I can walk faster, because taking 5 pounds, like this is 5 pounds of fat off your body, is a lot. It can make a difference on your body. So yes, definitely it's important to have healthy fats that we eat, but also making sure our weight is at a point where it's good for us and our body, because we need to make sure that our joints aren't having to strain to hold up everything too as well.
I like your visual examples as well.
Thank you.
We're just about out of time here. Penny, I'm wondering if you could provide your website so viewers could get some more information if they wish. And do you have a final message for the viewers about health and vitality?
I would say, yeah. So my website you asked was Foskaris.com, and my final thing was to make sure that you take time to relax each day. If you can meditate or find something online that can help you. If you walk outside and you love listening to just outside and not pay attention to the phone, just put your timer, enjoy it, and you know that you went 5 minutes, you can walk back. But really making sure that we relax as well too is very important. So we, don't have a heart attack or a stroke because we aren't relaxing. So it's important to be active, and also to be actively taking time for ourselves too.
Well said. Thank you so much, Penny. We're going to wrap up here.
Thank you.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.